about that. What he would do was he would take his phone and cut the ringer on and act like it's broke out in his pocket. He'll talk on the phone by the trees and by the road with other women and stuff. He would even take it that woman came to my house. The woman, when he was going through his surgery for his gallbladder, called the hospital. I was like, who is this? This the mother of his godchildren. I said, who is you? This Stacey Powers. I was like, who is you? I got so upset. First his mom asked her for him. She just looked at you, said, here, Becky. I said, well, she got the nerve to call. And then she comes up the cops to the house. Her cop friend, like if I was killing this big dude or something. Tracy said, Stacy. The police to my house while he was laying down. Baby, I could move and all this other stupid stuff. And so why did she call the police? Because he probably told her that I was beating him up or something. He lied. That's all you do is lie. And I have Mr. Biggins, did you have?
All right, let me say this too. Lady, if you got, like I say, if you got involved with this guy and you see that you can't trust him and he's doing nothing but lying and lying all the time, then it's time to move on. It's time to cut him off and it's time to move on. You can't stay in a situation like that. Same go for your man. If you're dealing with a woman and see like she can't be trusted and see like she's lying all the time, then it's time for you to cut it off. It's time for you to move on. Like I said, that's why I name it serious. That's why I say when it's over, it's over. You gotta know when it's over. When you're going through situations, things like that, especially that's the number one rule. You gotta have trust in a relationship, and if you, or especially in a marriage as well, if you can't trust the person, you gotta move on. If you feel that the person's lying, you can't trust them. Whether you're the man, you can't trust the woman, move on. You're the woman, you can't trust the man, move on. Let it go. It's okay. Same way you found them, you found someone else. All right, let's continue.
Have a woman that you were cheating on your wife with, all the police on her?
I was not cheating on her.
Okay.
That's the point that I'm trying to get to her head. Every time they accuse me of doing this, accuse me of doing that, I'm like, man, it takes to a point you keep on accusing someone. They might be doing it their own self.
And I agree with that too. Usually, sometimes, if you're in a marriage, a relationship or a marriage, and one person is always accusing you of doing something. Not all cases, but in most cases, usually that person is doing something as well. Is usually messing around as well. Usually, the one that's accusing you of cheating and messing around, that means that person is probably messing around himself. Not in all cases, but in most cases. And then also, if you're dealing with someone and they always accusing you of cheating, and you have to decide on whether you want to stay and deal with that, or is it time to let them go? It's time to move on. And if you accuse them and you think they are cheating and messing around, then it's time. You got to decide, whether you want to stay or go. You need to move on. And I'm serious about that too. Should you stay or go in a relationship or marriage too? All right, let's continue.
Is that what you decided to do?
No, I ain't do that. I was faithful through the whole entire marriage. When I did everything, when I cooked. When I'm talking about cooking, I cooked a shrimp fettuccine. Yes, I know how to cook shrimp fettuccine.
Well, then why did you?
She didn't like it.
Why did you bring another woman with you here?
I did, because I'm not a cheater.
Well, she's out there. We're gonna go get her.
When divorce court continues, Betsy claims that Stacey Powell ruined their marriage. The mystery woman revealed. Next.
Do you think Kenneth is justified in leaving Betsy over an outdated game system? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers. Call now.
If you would like your case heard on divorce court, call us toll free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and join the conversation on Twitter at Divorce Court. Divorce Court continues.
Good day, Miss Powell. How are you? Now, I want you to know Mr. Figgins said that you weren't here.
All right, let me say this for this witness speaks. A lot of times, people always say that this person ruined my marriage, ruined my relationship. It takes two to work out. If you with someone and they, you know, with someone or messing with someone, then like I say, it's just time to move on. And like I said, if a person, people are going to do what they want to do. If they want to cheat, they're going to cheat. If they want to be faithful, they can be faithful. So it's basically, and if the person they're messing around with ain't the one that ruined it. If he messing around on you, then he's the one that actually ruined it. If you ladies messing around on him, then it ain't the man that you messing around with that ruined it. It was you that ruined it. It's the woman that ruined it. All right, this is some more food for thought. All right, let's continue.
Right before he brought you in. So that's just ridiculous. But we're going to move forward. Ms. Powell, how long have you been seeing Mr. Figgins? 2 years. So you started seeing each other when? In 2000? Late 2012. Late 2012. So you weren't seeing her while you were with your wife?
No, I wasn't doing it. I stopped talking. I read her was going on back.
Yeah, he lying. Look at the way she looking at him. She looking at him like, come on now, stop being real. Yeah, you was married to that woman before you got divorced. You was messing around. And look, that old saying go. The old saying go. If it looks could kill, he would be dead. And the way you look at the way she looking at him, she look at him like, come on now, let's be real, keep it real. You lying. You know you was messing around with me while you was still married. Don't even play. All right, let's continue.
That time.
We were still in the house. You were still in the house, though, right?
Yeah, I was still in the house. But like I said, we were just friends because I was her godfather to her kids. Because I've been knowing her a long time.
All right, let me say this too, real quick, before we continue. Is that how is that you, if you're married, and how are you gonna be staying in a house with another woman or whatever, and you married? I understand you say you was the godfather to her kids, but still, you married, you don't be staying with no other woman. You're married. You're gonna be staying with another woman or whatever. You get divorced. You divorce your wife, and then once you divorce her, if you want to go move in with her, another lady, and stay with her, okay, that's fine. But you don't do that while you're married. While you still living. All right. Anyway, let's continue.
What was his line to you, Ms. Powell? What was he saying about his status?
He was
started
telling me
seeing you.
he was telling me he was having bad times at home.
Uh-huh.
That they couldn't see eye to eye.
Uh-huh.
Money wise, anything pertaining their marriage,
Yeah.
I was I was in it, I didn't get in it. I didn't get in it until he started complaining of his health. And when he started complaining of his health, that's when I got in.
Well, when you say you got in, what were you getting in?
Meaning like he'll come to my house and be like, I'm not feeling too good. I'll watch him over an hour, then I'll be like, look, let's go to the emergency room. I'll move it to the emergency room. Then when it got too severe, she was with another family throughout another church that took over.
So when did he start sleeping with her? That's what I want to know.
Wow. Real talk? 2013.
2013. So you were just a good friend, part-time nursemaid,
Right.
And in 2013, when the marriage was over.
Right.
I don't believe that. I ain't buying that. I ain't buying that at all. When he was up there, she liked that man for the jump, And being that he was telling her he quote unquote having issues and problems with his wife or whatever, and especially he was staying over there while they was married, they were sleeping together. I know she gonna lie in court, try to save face, say that she was messing around. She started messing around with him after he got divorced. It might be true, but I ain't buying it. She was messing around with that man while he was still married. I ain't buying that. But anyway, let's continue.
You started, you were with him. Yeah. Did he ever discuss his marriage with you? He did? Yeah. What did he say?
How she would curse him out if he didn't go get what she wanted from the store. When it came down to cooking, chewing him out. When it came down for him to eat, her and my daughter ate. We didn't. He is with his friends and told me how she gave him a shit.
He lied.
All right, let me say this before his ex-wife continue here. And that'll happen in our times in some cases. When people are having issues and marital problems and stuff, and they start bitten to someone else of the opposite sex, then sometimes, people, that's kind of opening the doorway for them to, mess around because she must have liked him and everything. He was a godfather of kids. He probably would, like you said, confiding in her, telling her, hey, my wife ain't acting right. She doing this. She treat me like this, talking to me this way, that way, sideways. Whatever the situation may be, and then next thing you know, she hear that door cracked, and then boom, next thing you know, they start messing around with each other. And the same thing, a lot of times, some women, they'll do the same thing as well. They'll have a male friend, you know, quote unquote, they'll get to talking to the male friend, talking about my husband lies all the time. I think he's cheating, messing around, and all that stuff. And then before you know it, that male friend or whatever, she confiding in, next thing you know, they start messing with each other. So that's how situations and stuff like that happens. Something, keep in mind. Both men and women. All right, let's continue.
All you do is lie. And I don't think, you see how he lied and say she wasn't here? So right there, he a liar. All he do is lie.
Miss Brown, let me say this to you just in general with respect to the other woman. No guy goes to a woman and says, my wife is wonderful and lovely. I would just like a piece on the side. Would you mind? They don't ever do that.
Let me say this. And not in most cases they don't, but you do have some people, that hey, that will be upfront and honest that do mess around and will say, hey, I like you, I'm married or whatever. But if hopefully we can kick it and all that stuff here. But one part she did say is correct. He won't be up there saying to the other woman, "Oh, she died, she treated me right," and all that stuff. But then she gonna be like, well, if she doing all this, treating you right and all that stuff, then why you coming along why you want to mess with me? So the judge is right on that part. All right, let's continue.
I'm agreeing. They come in with complaints. They come in with, and I've been married 25 years. Then 1, 2 years in there, we didn't even like one another. He could have said a whole lot of nasty things about me to somebody else, and it would all have been true because I was calling him every name in the book. It all would have been true. Marriages go through bad times, and for you to lay down and give it away.
Let me say this for just continue. I mean, all marriages, go through some ups and downs and everything like that. You're gonna have some disagreements and arguments and things like that. But if usually try, if you can, you try, talk it out, work it out with each other and everything, and try to make things better. And if things don't get better, then you got to decide on whether you want to stay or whether you want to go. And obviously, the judge and her husband must have worked things out because she said they've been together 25 years. But she said when they started out, things were kind of rough. She was talking to him bad and stuff like that. So obviously, they got through it. They worked things out, and they're still together after all these years. All right, let's continue.
While she's struggling with him, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. You gotta give them time to get through it. Now, if they're gonna get divorced and they're apart and then the papers in file, that's one thing. You don't disrespect another woman like that. We can't respect one another. We're never gonna get respect from them. Ever. Ever.
Judge Lynn Toller's ruling next.
All right, let me say this before the judge continues here. Before judge continues, um, she was right about one part. Telling the lady, yeah, you shouldn't be messing around. The man's married. Wait till after the man's divorced, and then if you want to mess with him, mess with him. I kind of agree with her on that part. And but like I say, it ain't just her, but it's also I blame him because he the one that actually did it. He should have been messing around with the woman until after he got his divorce finalized. All right, let's continue.
Divorce court. Judge Lynn Toller's ruling right now.
Miss Powell, I'm not saying you're a bad person because I don't know you like that. But in general, it's a bad thing to do. I want y'all to look at over there at what's happening here. Miss Lazard's in tear. Look.
That ain't nothing but a facade.
Oh no, then that's real. I know fake when I see it. That's real. She's hurt, and she's hurt for real. And that happened over here. And I think you need to accept that and understand that and believe that. Miss Powell, have a seat over there. Miss Lazard, is there something you want to say?
And I'm upset just seeing him because when he left, he never called me not one time in the years he left. I was hurt so bad. Every morning I would cry and cry and cry. He hurted me because I took him in. I loved him. And all he could do is sit up there and lie all the stuff that he done to me. Told me he was going to love me.
All right, let me say this. I do feel sympathy for you, young lady, but you gotta. Fact is, you gotta understand that that's. I'm sorry, you gotta. Or I say raw deal, bad deal, but sometimes some people are like that. They'll get with you and everything, and then everything might go start out well in the beginning and everything, but then after a while, the real them show up and show out. But like I said, back to what I was saying earlier in this case, she didn't take her time. She was so lonely and she was so desperate and everything. She hurried up, moved the man in after second date. You should have, spent more time with him, got to know him and everything a little better, and maybe you might have found out some of these things. You might have found out that he's a liar, that he lies all the time and everything like that. And and that's why I say, both grounded just for her, for women, but also for men too. That's why I say it's always good to spend time with a person, really get to know a person, and before jump in to a marriage with a person. I always say that, before you get married, you should at least date a person at least 2, maybe 3 years. 3 years, I would say 3 years minimum before you get married to a person. Because I think about 3 years, you will know the person well enough to know whether you should marry them or whether you shouldn't marry them. Both for men and women. All right, let us continue. Wrap this up here.
Always. We was going to be together. And you mean to tell me you're going to do this to me? And it hurt me to see, because I never seen him since he left them years ago. But it was gone 2, 3 years. He left on my daughter's birthday. He left. He just left. I mean, he just took his stuff and said, well, your family will come over here and jump on me. So I'm about to leave. That's right after he had his surgery. Well, he just left and just left. Took the car, took everything, just left, And I'm like, when I confront him about things, about, that's just my friend, and your family about to come over here and jump on me. I'm like, really? I went through surgery with you. You crying crocodile tears, scared you gonna die on a table or something because you was crying big tears. And I'm like, really? You gonna do this? And a woman gonna send the police to my house for my husband. Stacey Powell, and like if I was harming him in any kind of way. That he done dirty. He done me real dirty. And I loved him.
I hear you, Miss Lazard.
Let me say this before they continue here. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, say a person do you dirty. Sorry that happened, but it's an old saying: "Go what comes around goes around." Saying, things you do come back to you. And same way he did you dirty, the woman he's with now, she might do him dirty the same way. But God will make sure to see that. What the Bible does say, whatever you sow, you will reap. So if you do someone dirty, trust me, believe it's coming back some way somehow. God will see to that. That goes for anybody, man or woman. All right, anyway, let's continue.
And I'm glad you got a chance to say what you needed to say. Now we're going to go from the tragic to the absurd. Tell me about that $600 Xbox you are just dying to retrieve.
Don, picture 9 years ago, doing Black Friday, 29-degree weather. I'm standing out in the blistering cold. My friend called me, telling me, hey man, look bro, you need to come man, look, Black Friday, bro, that new Xbox coming out. I was debating on it, but in my mind I'm like, man, I already had a Nintendo, I had this. I wanted that video game.
How old are you?
Out there.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
All right.
Yeah, like I said, that was my time with my thing. I love to play my video game. I love to play. I've been doing it since I was growing up.
Now, 9 years ago, you got an Xbox. You kept that Xbox for 9 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's the same?
That's the same.
And you're saying that she did something to it? And you want the value for it?
She's hiding it, or she put it and gave it
I'm
somebody.
going to give you everything a 9-year Xbox is worth. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so worth.
All right, let me say this, and I'm good. I'm glad the judge did that. And one of the reasons she did that for several reasons. One is because being that you're divorced, that was something that you should have. Well, one, when you was leaving the woman, you got divorced, you should have took the Xbox with you. Number one, then you wouldn't have been here in court trying to get the Xbox. Also, too, when you get divorced, you bring all this stuff up in your court case in front of the original judge, so she can't rule over what the other judge did. So that's the reason why she says no recovery. But he's a dummy. He shouldn't have been bringing. He's too old to be playing video games. Um, anyway, number one. Number two, you also, like I said, if that was so important to you when you left, you should have packed it up with your other stuff when you left the woman. Yeah, obviously it wasn't that important. All right, let's wrap this up.
Kenneth leaves the courtroom without his beloved game console, but with the love of his new fiancée. Post a comment or submit your case at
All right. So anyway, that is it on that. So I hope that everybody, that people, take cases like this, and look at it and learn from it. Learn from the mistakes that was made by both people, by her and of course by him. And so hopefully, people learn from this. Hopefully they won't end up in situations and circumstances like this. All right. Well, that's it. To the next court case or next video series. All right. Take care. God bless. Peace.